Morning, Nigel. Was that one of the most frustrating matches of the season on Saturday at Port Vale, given all that conspired against you?
It was one of the most depressing ones in terms of having fought, and I'm sure our supporters feel the same way, having received the red card after 10 minutes, which there's minimal contact, a lot less contact than there was in the 94th minute. But you can understand in some ways why that was given. To then battle away for 80 or 90 minutes after that, and to be denied in the manner which we are. A rain-sodden day, our supporters getting soaked, going both ways, and the players putting in the effort that they did. It's always very, very sad when a game is deciding on a decision like it was, and it's a bit of a tipping point, really. Because even after, I don't know how many games we've played, a few weeks, a couple of months of the season, it's pretty obvious that things have got to change somewhere. I'll be contacting the LMA, which I'm a member, that's the League Managers Association, asking them to do a survey of their members, 72 or the other 71 managers in the AFL, with one simple question. Do they think the standard of officiating is improving? Yes or no? So hopefully we'll do that. If they won't do that, then I'll do it myself. And I'll be doing the same to the PFA, which I'm also a member, to contact the 72 captains in the FL and ask them the same question, one simple question. Do you think that the standard of officiating is improving, yes or no? Now, if it's an overwhelming no, and we talk to managers, obviously every week, we talk to players to a certain degree, and they talk to other players, and we obviously listen to our players. If it's an overwhelming no, surely there has to be some change at the top. Because my beef's not so much with the referees, it's with what they're being told and how they're being coached and how they're being told to asked to referee the game. That's my biggest gripe. And if after the 72 managers and captains or whatever, there is this overwhelming feeling, then surely there has to be change.
What changes are you looking for?
Well, the people at the top have to. If you're people that you're supposedly doing the thing for, referees are refereeing the game for the players, first and foremost. So if they're not happy with the way things are, and the managers and so on, and then obviously the crowd come into it, if they are unhappy with the direction in which this is going, then changes have to be made. I don't know who appoints them. The head of referees, I don't know. I know Howard Webb is the supremo, but I don't know who appoints the head of the EFL referees. Is it the FL? Is it Howard Webb? Nobody knows. I know one thing. We'll put our usual report in. The referees get to see it, which is always interesting, whatever we put on the report. But we don't get the assessor's report. We'll ask for the assessor's report again, and we'll ask for it every week if we wish. Yet we never get anything back from them in terms of, well, share your thoughts on how you thought the referee was on Saturday. Share your thoughts. Because the referee said before the game, an hour and a quarter before the game, he said, if you're not happy with anything after the game, he says, just tell me. He said, I'm a big boy. He said, I can handle it. Didn't seem to be able to when I popped in afterwards, but never mind.
Just back to what you said earlier, what sympathy do you have with referees? Because you said it's not necessarily them, but it's higher above.
Well, to a certain degree, because how they're being asked to officiate. And that comes from above. They have a certain amount of control themselves, but they have coaches, they have all this stuff now and everything. So I do have a certain amount of sympathy for them. Only in certain things, less so on Saturday, in terms of after 45 seconds of the game, Will Evans was pushed with two hands right in front of the touchline, and a foul wasn't given. That's then setting the standard of contact throughout the game. You then can't, in 94 minutes, give a penalty for less contact. You can't do that. That's not right. So we'll be highlighting all those sorts of things. We had a referee against Orient the other week when Regan Henry scored. And from the halfway line. And Orient thought it might have been a foul. But he'd let things go in the first 10 minutes of the game, 15 minutes of the game, exactly the same. So he then stayed consistent throughout the whole game. And you can't argue with that. But on Saturday, it's a different situation altogether. And it has just got to a point where personally, things have got to change. I'm not really bothered anymore because I'm coming to the end, Steve. You've got a few years left, but I'm not got long left. So it doesn't really matter. I've not got 20 years of a career to think about, or 10 years or anything like that. So I'm going to do everything I can with to go to the FL, the LMA, the PFA, whatever, just to try and get change so everybody benefits in the next sort of 5 or 10 years. If the feeling is as we think it is. Because when you talk to every single manager after a game, they will all say the same things. Oh, they're just getting worse. It's getting worse. And it's become accepted. That's the worst part. It's become accepted now within football. Oh, it's getting worse. Even in the Premier League with VAR, even, what have they had, 5 games? We've already had 2 incidents where they've had to come out and say, yeah, sorry, we got that wrong. So this argument about you only see it once and the crowd and all this sort of stuff goes out the window at VAR. Because you're in a room, detached from everything, you see every angle, slow-mos, freeze frames, whatever you want, and they're still getting it wrong. What are they being told? How are they being told to referee? That's what needs looking at. And sorry, the lads were magnificent for 80, 90 minutes. Against 10 men, to restrict the team to so few, score a magnificent goal, and then to have the point so cruelly taken away from us in the 94th minute. No, it's not right.
In a nutshell, then, why do you think the standard at this moment isn't where it should be?
It's been coming for 10. It's been worsening for 10 years and more. Anybody in football will tell you that. But I don't want to preempt what I'm going to try and do with the LMA and the PFA. Let's see what they say. One very simple question: yes or no?
What do you think the answer will be?
Well, let's see. I don't want to preempt it. If I'm talking to managers and talking to players and so on after games, we have a pretty good idea of what the strong feeling is within football. And I can't believe that it's not been done before now. They'll have these pre-season meetings, this, that, and everything else. One simple question will tell you everything you need to know.
A final word on your side's endeavours on Saturday, because they battled for so long, so well.
They scored a very good goal, still disappointed from the cross. It was a brilliant cross, the first goal. And we stopped them getting the second goal. I still want us to play more, even with 10 men, without a doubt, and play better. It's very, very difficult when we have 8 or 9 out. We're losing players in the first half, again under half time, and going down to 10 men. Very, very difficult. So you're looking for that fight and battle and everything, which we showed in abundance. And to get back in the game as we did. And as I say, I think Liam had one very good save with his feet just before half-time, on the stroke of half-time, which was a bit of a fluke the way it got there. But in terms of cutting us open and creating clear-cut chances, there wasn't too many in the whole game. So we're very pleased with that element of it. But I still want us to be a bit better on the ball.
One of the encouraging aspects, surely, was the return of your striker, Rhys Oates, not only for his goal, but the way in which he brought a refreshed energy to the second half.
Definitely. The only reason he was on the bench is because we didn't have anybody else. He wasn't fit enough, really. And I spoke to him just before half-time and said, listen, this is what we're thinking. Can you do 45 minutes? And he said, no. He said, I wouldn't want to risk it. So I said, can you do half an hour? And yeah, I'll give it a go at half an hour. That's how not quite ready he is yet. But then the plan was for Tyler to do the hour, which he did, and held it up for us and did everything he could. Then to bring Rhys on to give us a little bit of stretching the game and a bit of a threat, and then keep it at 1-0 if we could. Get Dom on and just change a little bit for the last 10 minutes and see if we could get a goal. So everything was going to plan according to plan until the decision in the 94th minute.
When he does come on and perform like that, does it underline the reasons why you re-signed him again?
And how much we're missing when he's not available. Even if it's coming off the bench for 30 minutes, he'll make things happen. And the other side of it is he gave the ball away in a really daft area leading up to the penalty decision. He should have gone down the outside, one as a corner, one as a throw-in or whatever, and he's cut inside into the body, he's lost the ball. We never got it back from there. But still doesn't excuse the decision. But again, a little bit more thought. But we just want him in the 18 every week, whether he's starting, you see at Chesterfield. He wins us the game at Chesterfield because he gets a goal after 2 minutes. And that wins us the game. He comes on, and he should get us a point on Saturday. He makes things happen. He has an impact on the game.
Can you forgive him for that piece of play, though, where, as you say, on another day, he might have taken the ball into the corner after scoring, but in his heart of hearts, he will have wanted a second goal and to win it for Mansfield.
Yeah, of course, nothing wrong with that, but you have to be realistic and say, well, he's got 5 defenders between him and the goal. Just head towards the corner and win us something if you can. Yeah, of course. And as I say, it still doesn't excuse the decision. If then they'd have cut us open and somebody had put a brilliant goal in, that's not a problem at all. But when it's the decision that was, that's the worst part about it. That's the worst part about it, and the assault on Aaron Lewis in the second half as well, which which the officials have confirmed that they've seen with an elbow at him and a punch, which the head of referees confirmed that he'd seen from the stands after the game, and yet the referee booked both players for adopting an aggressive attitude. Now, I'm not very bright and you're a words man, but I always thought attitude didn't involve contact, just by the nature of the definition of the word. Attitude is not contact. Attitude is something that you give off or whatever. And he booked both players despite an elbow that he's seen clearly, him and the assistant, for an attempted elbow and a punch on the back of the head as adopting an aggressive attitude. These are the sorts of things that we'll be examining in the coming days, whenever, asking just on answers really. And we won't get them because we're not allowed to see the assessor's report, so we can't get that.
Yeah, I would concur with that definition. Just coming away from that and back to players, you were disrupted throughout the day, really, weren't you? And you had 2 players going off, Jordan Bowery and Joe Gardner. What's their fitness status today? They're
both going to have scans and see the extent of the injuries. That's what makes it worse. We can deal with all that. We've got a great squad, character and everything. We can deal with all that. We can't deal with the decisions like we had on Saturday. And as I say, that it just makes it more disappointing, more than anything else, and concerning. But they'll both have scans, and we'll see. Obviously, Sweens will be suspended for Saturday, and we'll see if we can get either Joe or Jordan on the pitch, but it's unlikely. It's funny because the other lad, we're hoping to get the international break. We'll see about the EFL, if they can give us a rule this time, or it might be on the ethos of their policy again, which is what they quoted to us when they didn't have a rule that they applied, sorry, John, to give us the last international break. That's another problem we have with the EFL. We asked them to say which rule they were applying to the ruling that we couldn't call the game off because of an under-23 call-up. And they said, we don't have a rule, but we're applying the ethos of the policy. Now, I don't know what that means, and I think it's a very, very dangerous statement to make. That basically seems to me that you can make it up as you go along in the future if you haven't got a rule that covers it, because your rule book, if you haven't got a rule to cover a certain situation, that's your oversight, nobody else's. So that's another issue we have within football. But we're going to keep battling these things. We're not quite living in a Trump-like state yet, are we, where we can't say what we want to? We can still challenge our leaders and our organisations, can't we? For the good of what we think is football. So, I say we, because it's not we. If it's I'm going to do it. As I say, with not long left, nothing to lose now.
Just back to referees, if I may.
I'd rather not. Seriously, I'd rather not go any more onto them. You can do. Go on. What?
Well, I'm just curious, if you don't mind me asking this question, because your dad famously was an advocate of referees, wasn't he? He backed them to the hill. Now, I'm not saying that sons always follow their dads, but I am curious to know why you're perhaps not as supportive towards them, for want of a better phrase.
Right. Let me just tell you a couple of things then about that, shall we? In 1971 or 2, I'm not sure, Derby played at Juventus in the European Cup semi-final. And he called them afterwards cheating because they were caught, Juventus, going into the referee's room at half-time. And many years later, it was proved that they had bought the referee and that they had been cheated. And they cheated him out of the European Cup semi-final at Derby. In 1983 or 4, you'll have to check this against Anderlecht, they went 2-0 up in the home leg and lost 3-0. And the referee, again, was found to have been bribed and cost him. He only got 4 European semi-finals. 2 of them they won and went on and won. And the other 2 referees were bribed and corrupt. And then in the famous FA Cup final in 1991, and Mr. Roger Milford, who looked magnificent on the day with his flowing locks, let poor Gascoigne leave the pitch on a stretcher without a yellow card after two of the worst tackles that you'll ever see in football. And if he'd have sent him off for the first one, which is studs up on Gary Parker's chest here, he would have saved Paul's career and he would have done the right thing, and we might have gone on and won it. So if you want to know what he really thought about referees in those three major things in his career, don't be falling for this. He knew that by doing what he did with referees, then they would possibly, if they hadn't been corrupt, then would possibly go on his side, and if there was a marginal decision, he might get it. Like in the League Cup final against Liverpool in replay when John O'Hare was tripped a yard outside the box and Pat Partridge gave the penalty, you might just get the edge. That's why he did it more than anything. But if you want to ask him really, what about the corrupt referees? What about Juventus buying referees and Anderlecht? Proved. Or Roger Milford's incompetence in the FA Cup final in 1991 that cost him three major trophies. Unfortunately, he died 21 years ago, a couple of days and 3 days ago, so you can't ask him. Would have been interesting to see his views on those, because I know what they are.
Very interesting, because I think he famously said in an interview to John Motson, it should be overemphasised how difficult it is to referee a football match.
I've never said anything contrary to that. Never said anything contrary to that. We have one mandatory fine here, and that's for dissent. Any player that commits to or dissent towards a referee is fined automatically. There's one exception to that. Last week or the week before at Lincoln, Bailey Cargill was booked officially for dissent. I asked the referee on the pitch afterwards, what did he say to you? He said, nothing. I said, what do you mean? I said, did he swear? He said, no, he didn't say a word. So what did he do? He said, he came at me indicating that his shirt had been pulled. I said, well, that's not dissent then. The referee said, it's perception. It's the perception. So Bailey didn't get fined. A mandatory fine. And everybody knows it. It's 10%, then it goes to 25%, then it goes to 50%, and then it goes 100% of your weekly wage. That's the only thing we do. So don't talk about respect for referees. We have as much as anybody. And our technical area has, I think, the best disciplinary record since this official crackdown. So don't talk to me about respect for referees or anything like that. We've got as much as anybody. And I've never said anything to the contrary of how difficult it is for them. My point is, what are they being told from the top? How are they being asked to referee? That's my point, not the actual referees. And I've told you how many times I feel sorry for them at times. I really do. Don't feel sorry for when they put their hand in your face, as the guy did at, where were we? Exeter, the assistant Exeter. When I just asked him a question, did you see the challenge on Regan in the centre circle? And he went, I'm not answering your questions. And then the same assistant gave the penalty from 50 yards away on Jordan Bowery handball, which the head of the referee said is everything that we've told them isn't going to be a penalty of handball this season.
Back to Mansfield, what defensive options have you got for Saturday?
Oh, give us a minute. Not many, let's put it that way. Not many. It's the old phrase of wrapping them in cotton wool this week. We can't afford to do much contact stuff at all. We've got Kyle Noel, we've got Fraser Blake Tracy, and we've got Stephen McLaughlin at the moment. And we'll see who we have after that as defenders. We'll see how we go from there. Yeah, I think the flexibility it gives you, formation-wise, we went to a 3 when we went down to 10 men, which we normally do as well. So I think we've got flexibility in terms of formation, just not with the personnel so much.
Let's speak about the opponents, Rotherham United, who come to One Call Stadium on Saturday, who have not enjoyed the best start this season. What have you seen from them? What do you make of their squad and season so far?
Just not quite getting the breaks at the moment, I think, from what we've seen of them. We'll have a look more in detail this week. Very close games and, the odd goal here or there and things going against them. Still got a very good squad on paper. A lot of players, I think, came in the summer, so still settling down a bit like us.
Very finally, I understand you're attending the annual Macmillan Coffee Morning on Friday morning at Sandy's Bar and Kitchen at One Call Stadium, which is free for all to attend. Definitely, every player will be there, every member of staff will be there, and looking forward to supporting it. It's become a little bit of a fixture in the calendar for us.
and unbelievably worthwhile cause, and especially for Lynn, our ticket office this year. So we'll be all down there supporting Macmillan and supporting her.
The highlight, as I've seen often in recent years, is your dog, trusted dog Bobby. Is she coming again?
I think she'll be there, yes, trying to keep her away from the cake, because it's not good for her, Me and her have had too much. But yeah, she'll be there as well, sniffing around, hoovering a few crumbs up, no doubt.
See you on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whereabouts are we with injuries at the moment? How many have you actually got unavailable or likely to be unavailable for Saturday?
I don't know. Seriously, I haven't had time to count them up. It was 6 or 7 before Saturday 7, so now I think we're possibly approaching double figures, yes.
It's another season where this has happened early. It's just incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible, and the variety again of different things. We had a meeting last week about it.